Lately, I've been humbled by multiple people who have worked for me or around me, really letting me know that I've changed their trajectory. I've influenced them in some sort of manner, inspired them, or helped them gain tools that help them really achieve the next level of their career or somewhere in their life. So I'm going to state that this has humbled me because in every one of these cases, I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't some grand gesture nor magic that I possessed that made them believe this way about me. It's simply showing up every day the same way, delivering a message, and really believing in these people. So, hello and welcome to the Fire Forge Leader podcast, where I, Steve Baumgartner, will take you on a journey of the forge, where we're going to discuss lessons learned on the front lines of leadership. So today's topic really discusses lollipop moments. And this lollipop moment term was coined by Drew Dudley in his TED Talk about everyday leadership. He discusses how we have made leadership some sort of change the world type word when really it's just small things consistently. So in Drew's TED Talk, he goes over an event that happened in his life. He was going to the university and he was doing some charity work with a charity that he was involved with. And there was also at the same time, there was a girl that had just showed up to this university. She was with her parents. And by her account, she was scared and didn't want to be there anymore. She was at the edge where she was standing in the registration line with her parents, and her parents were very supportive, told her that if she didn't want to be there, that they could leave, but she had to tell them. And she was at that point where she was going to tell them so that they could all leave. At this moment in time, Drew walked up and saw her, and he stopped. He looked at her for a minute. He had previously been walking up and down the line, this registration line of all these kids coming to university, and he was giving out lollipops to promote the charity that he was with. But he stops in front of this young lady, and then he stands there and stares for a moment. And she mentioned that it was creepy, but anyways, he pulls out a lollipop and he turns toward the gentleman who was standing right beside her, another kid that was getting ready to go into university, and hands it to this guy and says to him, "You should give this to this beautiful woman that's standing beside you." So at this point, the guy's color just drops out of his face, of course. He's embarrassed as hell, can't look at this girl, and kind of sheepishly hands this lollipop to her sideways without even looking at her. And she later states that she simply took it because she was so embarrassed for this kid, right? I mean, he was just embarrassed as hell. She felt sorry for him. And then at this pivotal moment, Drew then makes a huge joke, looks at her dad and says, they don't even have this girl registered, but yet she's already taken candy from a stranger. Everybody in the registration line, of course, starts laughing. So here's the really interesting part of this story and where it takes a turn, I guess. So this girl, just to recap, she was ready to leave. She was going to tell her parents, "I don't want to be here. This is not the place for me." However, at this point, through this just a humor event, right? Someone being a jackass, really. She realizes this is exactly the place that she wants to be. She would not want to be anywhere else. And she does not tell her parents that she wants to leave. So then 4 years later, Drew's getting ready to leave the university, and this girl goes and hunts him down. And she hunts him down because she wants to let him know how big of an impact that he had made on her life. And then she also states that she's still dating that boy 4 years later that gave her the lollipop. And then a year and a half after that, Drew receives an invite to their wedding. Wedding was probably the biggest thing in these two young people's lives. However, a really interesting point of this story is that Drew doesn't even remember this event. It was insignificant to him at the time. It was just how he showed up. So really the point of this story is that leadership and having an impact on people's lives does not have to be a grand thing, right? We all make, jokes in a hallway or, uh, kind of have those jackass moments. But the way that he showed up was important, right? So when we show up in the right way, it has a potential to be a huge impact in someone else's life. And I'm not sure about you at this moment, but a shiver just ran down my spine. And if it didn't with you, it should have. That's really a tremendous amount of power that we all hold. We all hold this huge amount of power for these small events to really impact and change someone else's trajectory. Let's reflect on that for a second. We can do this in positive moments, but we can also do this in negative moments. So we got to wield this power appropriately. Now, just so that I'm not just sharing Drew's story, I wanted to share that because he actually is the one that came up with this leadership concept, not myself. So when I apply that to my own life, this year I changed my career from maintenance and reliability to plant management. With that changed, I've also changed the employee base that I've had, the people that I communicate within the company. I'm not at a corporate level where I'm dealing with all of our plants and just people on the maintenance reliability spectrum and top level leaders and things like that. But I deal a lot in the operations side and strictly within my plant walls now. So with that, I've run into a couple people when they've traveled in and out of my plant. And I've also had calls and texts from different people that have actually told me about these lollipop moments that I've had in their life. So they've reached out and they've told me how I've impacted their lives. And just like Drew, some of these points I can't remember, others that I can, but each and every one of them to me were insignificant because they weren't impacting my life. They were just how I show up every day. So, a couple different examples, and I'm not going to go into great detail on these because I haven't talked to the people who have given me this feedback. So, I'm going to keep it a bit general. But I've been told about how I've inspired a tremendous health journey of an individual. This person dropped a ton of weight, they're more active, they're physically fit, they feel healthy. And they told me that I was the one who inspired them to take that journey. I've also been told that I changed or helped this person change their whole mindset about their trade. They state that I opened up their mind to see something new, that I inspired them to a different sort of mindset, and it's led to promotion after promotion for this person. And then the final example that I got, and this isn't the last of the list, but I wanted to give a couple different examples. And this one just absolutely floored me. But one of my previous employees had a death in their family, and they were able to step up and step into the lives of young children and be able to take them into their household to raise them as their own. And this person told me that I had helped them prepare for that point in their life through just a sequence of events and positions and places that I put this person in, to where they grew and believed that they were capable to do this. Once again, I got shivers running down my spine, because it's amazing how much positive power that we have to influence or impact someone else's life. So once again, I'm not going to go into those personal accounts, but I do want to point out again that each and every one of those things, I didn't consider a big deal at the time. It's just how I showed up to them every day. So I'm going to kind of break that down a little bit. So if you're going to show up positively in someone's life every day and do it in the small moments, I've got a couple bullet points here, and it's really four. I try and keep these short and sweet. But the four bullet points that I got is: number one, be yourself, right? And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm a Christian. I know what I believe. And I believe that we are a creation, right? That God created us, and we are the most awesome creation that has ever been on the planet Earth. So if we're the most awesome creation that has ever been on the planet Earth, and then you go one step further and we're all created as individuals down to our fingerprints. There's no one else that has the same fingerprint as I do. We're meant to be individuals. We were created to be individuals. So be one. Be yourself. That's where your greatness is going to flow, because you were created to be great. Be genuine. Don't ever be fake with anybody. They can sniff that out. Be genuine all the time. Continue with the same message, or grow your message over time as you learn new things, but be genuine with it. Let it be your message. Don't let it be someone else's message. You cannot carry someone else's message. So be genuine. Also has to do with be yourself, right? Be an individual, but be genuine in your own message. It can be an adaptation of other people's messages, but you need to believe it and be genuine when you deliver it. Be consistent. If you're not going to be consistent, people don't know what to expect out of you, right? Those points that you could be impacting people's lives, They're busy questioning because you're not consistent. Without consistency, really, it's like everybody's playing whack-a-mole, right? They're trying to figure out where you're coming from, where you're going to be next, what have you. So be consistent, right? Be yourself, be genuine, and be consistent. Then the fourth one is the most important in every situation known to man. Integrity, integrity, integrity. If you say something, follow through, right? If you believe that the power is in the team, but you don't show them that, and you override them and everything else, your integrity is very low. They don't trust you. All the rest of the stuff goes away. Don't ever lie to your people. Don't lie to them at home. Don't lie to them at work. Don't lie to people. So just to recap these 4 points, be yourself. We're created as individuals. We were created to be great. Be yourself. Be genuine. Don't be fake with anybody. Be consistent. Don't make other people play whack-a-mole. And then lastly, keep your integrity as high as you possibly can. When you bring all 4 of these things together, you're going to make an impact on somebody's life. You're going to know what you believe. You're going to preach what you believe. You're going to carry the same message. You're going to be consistent. You're going to do what you say you're going to do because you believe in it yourself. So go out and have those lollipop moments. They don't have to be big for you, but they're going to be big for somebody else. Be bold in your statements. Be bold in your life. Be what you were created to be. So to give Drew Dudley his due, go out and look up Everyday Leadership by Drew Dudley. Watch his TED Talks. Check him out. He's an amazing speaker. He's an amazing leader. And if you appreciate what you heard on this podcast here today, I invite you to leave a rating and review. Those rating and reviews help us stay relevant so that we can get this information out to other people and share this message. And then hit that subscribe button on whatever podcasting app you're currently listening to so that you don't miss a single episode of the Fire Forge Leader. So I ask you to join us in the Forge Desk next week. I'm going to be having a conversation with a gentleman by the name of Dylan Bain. He's the owner of Fiscally Savage. And you can look that up on Google. It's fiscallysavage.com. And what he does is he offers many services, including coaching and different types of resources to really help his clients achieve freedom through finance. Our discussion is going to be around career crafting. And I'm sure that we're going to touch on some other topics along the way. But it's going to be phenomenal. I know Dylan. He's a ball of energy. He wants to really, truly help people. So with that, I want to thank you for tuning into the Fire Forge Leader podcast. And don't forget, words without action are meaningless. So after the heat of the forge, shape your thoughts, quench your brain, and put these new tools to use. And I'm out.